Mary Langston had never been wealthy, but she lived with a kind of wealth few recognized: peace of mind. A retired librarian in her late 60s, Mary had spent her entire life in the small, whisper-quiet town of Laurel Creek, Virginia. She was the sort of woman who baked lemon squares for church meetings, returned books early, and made eye contact with every person she spoke to. Her routine was predictable and comforting: walks to the post office, tending to her small garden, and reading novels on her porch swing. One drizzly Monday morning, Mary sat at the bus stop outside the local grocer, waiting to head into town. As she sat down on the weathered wooden bench, she noticed a black leather handbag tucked underneath. No one else was around. She waited a few moments, expecting someone to rush back in panic. But the minutes ticked by, and no one came. Curiosity nudged her. She opened the bag gently, intending to find an ID. What she found instead made her breath hitch. Bundles of cash, neatly stacked, rubber-banded, and crammed into the purse. Mary counted quickly, then stopped, overwhelmed. There had to be over $300,000. She sat frozen, handbag in lap, mind racing. The thought came unbidden: what if I kept it? No one saw me pick it up. Maybe it was meant to find me? But then she thought of all the library books she had ever returned on time. The thought of dishonesty, it tasted bitter. She stood up, walked back into the grocery store, and asked to use the phone. "I need to call the police," she said, clutching the bag. "I think someone lost something very important." The responding officer was stunned by her find. Mary handed over the bag without hesitation and gave a full statement. By the next day, the local paper ran the headline: "Pensioner finds fortune, turns it in." Mary didn't want interviews, didn't want cameras. "It wasn't mine," she told reporters. Simple as that. But things weren't so simple. Days later, the police uncovered that the cash belonged to Richard Mallory, a local businessman whose brother had recently died. In his dying days, his brother had been conned out of the inheritance by Richard. He was trying to move the money quietly to avoid scrutiny. Mary's discovery unearthed an investigation. The truth spilled out. The brothers' family, living in near poverty, were finally returned what was rightfully theirs. Apologies followed. Tears. And a reckoning. Mary never asked for thanks. But one afternoon, the brothers' widow came to her porch with a homemade pie and tears in her eyes. "Because of you, my children will go to college," she said. That night, Mary sat on her porch swing, book in lap, heart quiet and full. Not because she had been praised, but because she had chosen truth when no one was watching. Moral: doing the right thing quietly can spark the loudest change.